Je suis là pour le cash.
Now, boom. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I'm wearing blue glasses. I just remembered I have them on. They're gonna stay on. Got to protect these eyeballs late at night. You know what I'm saying? But cool. Welcome back to the Laser Sports Academy stream. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. As I said in the Facebook post, this is our first stream since we've become affiliated. So, yay, woo! And it'll be most definitely the last stream of the year. And what better way to cap it off than with a review of one of the more exciting tournaments this year with Swenats 2023. Today, I'm joined by a couple of familiar faces and one new face on the channel. I'll introduce the familiars first. Mumin, welcome back. How's it going, bro?
All good, all good. A little early, but yeah.
little early. Mumin was just telling me he's going through the Christmas hell as well. But we're gonna push through it together, and we'll be on to a new year of awesome laser tag tournaments before long. We'll be right. Hekki, welcome back as well. How you going, bro?
Thank you. Going pretty good. A little early as well, but
Yeah. It's just kind of one time we'll swap it where we get to do it later for you guys, and it'll be in the morning for me. One day,
yes.
maybe we'll see. And we have a new guest and one of our 2023 Swenats champions. We have Domi from Team Destroyer. Thank you very much for joining us, Domi, and welcome.
Yeah, thanks. Glad to be here.
Oh yeah, cool beans. Well, I think we'll just get right into the thick of it, unless anyone has something they want to say as a bit of a prelude about the tournament. Anyone? No,
let's get to it. Yeah, we can do that.
Let's smash it. Yeah, let's smash it. All right. I'm going to share my screen so we get this lovely Google Slides up. Cool. So like we always have done with our reviews in the past, we'll be going through. Yeah, got the guns out, mate. Big rigs, mate. Put those things away. Put them away. We'll be going through each of the teams in order of like the 11th place all the way to first, and we will talk about things that the teams did well, things they didn't do so well. Give some limelight for some standout players, and then just wrap up with just a summary of what we said and some things for that team to take going into their training leading up to the next tournament, assuming that they play together. Any questions, guys?
No.
Happy days. Let's get right into it. I just had dinner, so I might have to burp a couple times. Apologies in advance. I'll try my best to not be obnoxious about it. All right. In 11th place, we have Pariah. So Mumin, you had these guys in 6th. Hekki had them in 8th. David had them in 6th. Finished 11th. So they were four positions down from their overall predictions. So one of the there's quite a few big movers, but yeah, one of the biggest movers in terms of like predictions versus final placement. So I believe we have Mumin. You're going to tell us about Pariah. So what's the story? What's the go?
Yeah, well, this hurts actually. This is worse than us missing the grand final because this is the next generation team and they're 11, so it hurts. They had some issues. Well, let's start with like some positive things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they were pretty good at cracking bases. They often got 10 bases at the end, and I suppose that is a good thing. And they also had some players that had moments throughout the tournaments, but they never really found any good way of playing cohesively. They never really got the pack score going. Like they had 10 base. At some point, I was watching their games, trying to see what they were doing. And I think they had 10 bases and like 35,000 points or something like that.
Yeah, which is not. There's a lot of field points there.
Yeah, exactly. So it was way too focused on bases. And I know they tried to slow play and they got outplayed. This tournament was rough in that sense because it was like 5 top tier teams and 3 mid and 3 lower, right? So usually you would be out of your depth if you were not in the top tier. Yeah, in almost all games. So they tried to play like more structured, more slow, and they just kept losing. And then they played the base game, like just what you call a pain train.
Yeah.
Or I guess you call it the saw, I think. And we
call it
like a seesaw. That makes sense.
We call it the cradle in Sweden. So
Helsinki Cobras.
Yeah, exactly. So they did that, but they didn't get any field points, and then they were out.
Yeah, so you said they were often getting like 35k. Do you guys get is the points for your bases the same as us, where you like lose 500, and then get 4,000? Is that how it works for
Yes.
you guys?
Yeah, 4,001. Yeah.
Right. So if they're ending on like 35, they're getting like 5k pack points. That's
Yeah,
pretty
this
rough.
was this was when they were done with all 10. So this was probably with a few minutes left, right? So they ended up
with a
with
few
maybe-
minutes left. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So they ended up with maybe 43 something.
Okay.
But
I thought you were
with 10
saying they
bases-
finished on 35 with 10 bases. I was like,
Oh no, it wasn't that.
That'd be
bad.
crazy.
Yeah, that would be worse. It was. It probably could have happened. Yeah, but it didn't, luckily. But there was no structure to it. You can see, like, when I was reffing, they have quality, like in the players. They know how to play it. They just didn't play together, and they had no control of the arena. They just ran back and forth, taking bases without any control of any particular area in order to field score.
Yeah, right. So you're saying when they've tried to play a more standard structured strategy, they've kind of got outclassed by like the stronger team that was in there. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's rough. I mean, it's like, it's one of those things where it's like it's a rough position to be in, because I feel like ultimately, like, if you are doing the standard thing that everyone else is doing and you're not able to win with that, it's like, that's a pretty rough state to be in. And then to try and get the best result you can, you're going to try and like pull something out. So like doing a pay train or a cradle or a seesaw, whatever you want to call it. But I think, I don't know, would you, my own thoughts with this kind of stuff is, if there's a team, it's like a development team, right? So the team that's, I don't know how good this team expected themselves to go, but if it's a team where you're like, realistically, like, we're not going to be able to push really deep into the tournament, to the top end. If there was like a team I was coaching, my advice to them would be to not pull out like the stops and just do like the whack strategies. It would be to commit to the structured thing. And even though you know you're going to get outclassed, if you are also playing that structured thing, it's way easier for you to pick up on the things that these better teams are doing that you're not. And so I think from a training perspective, like if it's a development team that wants to stay together and be better for the next nationals, I feel like you would get better playing the tournament standard and trying to pick up as much as you can from these other teams than pulling out the stops and just doing some whack strategies. That's my own thoughts on that, but I don't know. What do you guys reckon?
I would say the same, and that would be like the thing to improve the next year. It's like, it's better to be like, maybe try to play it like structured and maybe be 10th or 9th, and you know you're going to be down there, instead of trying to pull something and learn, like, play the long game instead.
Yeah, I think I see it happen all, like, really, really often in training and even at tournaments and stuff, where there's like so many learning opportunities to be had, but like teams in their pursuit of trying to get like almost like a shortcut to like winning, they start doing like whack stuff, when realistically, like, the hard road, the long road of committing to the standard stuff and like just taking the losses and turning them into like good learning opportunities is like key to making your next tournament better than the one beforehand. So yeah, but it is rough. Like, anyone goes to a tournament, they want to get the best result they can, and when you are getting like slapped around, it is like mentally like very difficult to keep that positive mindset and that and keep on going. So yeah, I understand it is very difficult, but for sure.
I would say my advice would be, like, for the next year, they should have one of the Fedekin players or something, like we saw, like we sometimes see that, like, one player stepping down, playing with newer players in order to teach them the ropes, like how to do the layout, how to do the basic things, like the roles that you're supposed to have when you play and stuff like that. I think that could be something. We talked about it in Gothenburg a little that we need to change that up.
Yeah, 100%. Have Domi or Hekki, have you got anything to add in terms of things that Pariah did well or not so well before we move on to some standout players?
Well, I guess I wanted to say that I'm just always surprised at how weak they are on pack skills. It sounds so rude to say, but it's always caught me a little bit, especially this tournament, since it's their home arena, basically. They were super weak, all of them, when it came to pack dueling and stuff like that. And you could see it on their pack score, as Mumin kind of referenced.
Yeah, it's one of those things, I think, even if they were playing like structurally, like very sound, like, you know, strategically, like perfect laser tag, like if you aren't winning those crucial duels and stuff, it's all for naught. You know, a team that's winning duels, that's like got a crap strategies, you know, can more often than not beat a team that's got a good strategy that's just not able to win those important duels. So I don't know, like, is Pariah a team that like trains like pretty frequently? Mumin?
Yeah, 3 times a week or 2 times a week, I would say.
2 times a week.
Yeah.
Do they do a lot of like what does it like? What does a training session look like for these guys?
We do drills.
The drills. Yeah, right. Like attack versus defense type stuff and like dueling drills and stuff.
Yeah, well, some of them. Like the thing is not, it's not the duels per se. Like Buckshot, you played Buckshot. He's strong on the duels.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I mean Paulina is Patalau. She's also really strong on the duels. Like it's not that. It's not the skill per se. It's that they give up arena control, and you can't. It doesn't matter if you win duels if you give up arena control because you get shot from afar.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like if you don't have control of any area, any duel you lose, the opponent will just stay alive, and if you win, you'll die. So you never get that advantage because we used to trigger lockout.
Trigger lockout, yeah.
Yeah. So it's not just that. Like they will have to duel all the time when they're dead and the opponent is alive, and then statistically you will lose more duels. Like it doesn't matter if you're decent or not. Like if you look at Salad Mix that we get to later, I won't say like they are better duelists in any way. They're just smarter.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Domi, have you got anything to add about Pariah before we move on to some standout players for this team?
I just wanted to say like they kind of remind me like we played like a few years back, just getting the 10 bases, and then like realized at the end we're like 7k, 8k pack points behind.
Yeah.
So in our arena, it's kind of like a Hekki Mumin you guys played in the Western map. It's kind of like really opened.
Yeah.
So back in the day, we would just get all 10 bases and then come back and then, okay, what do we do now? So that's how we played like 4, 5, 6 years ago, I would say. But then we realized that's kind of stupid when we went to like other tournaments, and it's a lot of different than we play it now, like the structured way. And I would also say them giving up that arena control, I feel like you could feel it also in the maze. Like when we played against them, we would just attack, get their base, and then like we would basically get their half of the arena. That's what it felt like for me, at least.
Yeah, and that obviously enables you to get like a crazy amount of pack points, right? So
yeah, for example, like if I would go to them and then like I would basically had like 2 or 3 players and get that map control of them. Yeah. So there was like 2 games like that.
Yeah. Well, in spite of that, I would like everyone to make a pick for a standout player. So, Mumin, I'll get you to start off, mate.
Yeah, okay. So skill-wise, the 2 sisters, Patalau and Revi, they are the strongest players, and they did play well. Well, I would like to say Bouncer because this is his first Nats.
Yep.
And he's good. Like him and Buckshot was having some good like moments in the defense, the communication skills and keeping player out. So, and it's always nice to see new talent. So I would say Bouncer. Yeah.
Yep. Cool. Domi.
I was thinking like between Patalau and Buckshot, but I think for me Buckshot because he's really strong in the duels. And I had to fight a lot with him in the dueling stuff. So Buckshot.
Yep. Cool. And Hekki, who have you got?
So I would actually go with Patalau myself because it felt like she was the one who actually attempted to make the bigger moves in the team happen whenever they tried to do something.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, what would anyone like to say anything in closing or in summary of Pariah before we move on to our 10th place team? No. Cool beans. Well, hard luck, Pariah. But hopefully, obviously losing feels super shithouse, but ultimately it's that feeling of losing. If you like channel it right, is what that's what turns into like going up, like climbing a bunch of positions like the next year, right? It's all about channeling that negative energy in a positive way. So, learn from your losses, apply the mistakes you made in your training, like drill like the absolute crap out of them. If there's big mistakes you make, be like, we're not making that mistake ever again, and just use that like not wanting that feeling of losing. Let that be the driving force for staying motivated and staying focused in your training. Cause that's, even though it feels shit, like this could be a massive opportunity for growth if you look at it that way. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Moving on. 10th place. Boom. We have taggers up 1 from predictions. So Mumin had them in 10th, Hekki had them in 11th, and David also had them in 11th. On the team we have, I realized I didn't go through the roster before, but we have Skip, me, Maria, Alita, Glassman, and Malvin. Who is talking about these guys? Is it you again, Mumin? It is.
Yeah, it's me. And this roster ended up, because Glassman, he broke his wrist, so he couldn't play. And Malvin had to work, so he couldn't play. So they had Smiley and a guy called Spawn. And they were also allowed to lend a player for one day where they didn't have any players in order to keep the tournament going.
Did Glassman break his wrist in a game, or was it beforehand?
Yeah, it was on his last life in Elam, and he got chased, so he ran into a wall.
Oh, naturally. Poor fella. That is rough.
That is how we get injured in Europe. It's on your last life in Elam. That's most
common. That checks out for sure. Cool. So a big shake up for this team. What did they do well, Mumin?
Well, they did get Skip and Smiley. They are both Fadekin players. I mean, they played the Euros together, and Skip has played Worlds, and it was sort of a carry. But I would like to say the other players played well as well. But it was more of hurting, Skip and Smiley hurting the team a little bit. And they outsmarted Pariah. In my book, they should have beaten team number 9, but they lost it, which is quite fun actually. I don't mind the kids winning over this team. And it basically we have Eliter, which is and Glassman. They were supposed to be like future Pariah players. They are young. I think Glassman is 11. He wasn't in it, of course, and Eliter is maybe, what is she? 11, 12, something like that.
Yeah, youngsters.
Yeah. So this is not like this. Of course, this is how Pariah should have played it with like maybe them having Smiley or having Skip instead.
Yeah.
And as you can see, this team has 5 players, so they don't have to put any energy into who's sitting or change any tactics because of who is sitting. So looking back to Team 11, using 6 players was not a smart move. I think that hurt them a lot as well.
Mm.
I didn't mention that. So they played really well. Like this team played smart. They played well. When we played them, like we don't want to run into Smiley shenanigans, so we just dumped from the start and just chased, basically. Because I'm not letting Smiley outsmart my team like that. It's not gonna happen because he can do it. Well, they played sound. Like I think big ups for Smiley for taking that role.
Cool. So the Smiley show by the end of it, huh?
Yep. And I would say for things that did not work out so well is probably that, I mean, Skip, even though he has played a lot with big tournaments and stuff, it was a long time ago. So he plays more like the old way of playing, like some of the old strategies.
Yeah.
And Maria and Eliter, they don't practice as much as the Pariah players, and they are not as I would say Maria, at least she's not as competitive, I think. Like I don't get that impression. So it's more of that part is more of a social team. So it was like half social, half competitive style. So I don't think this is a team we will ever see again.
Right. All right. We won't invest too much time on the what they can look to improve on as a team next year. But what did they? What were some of the shortcomings of this team? Would you say?
It's hard to say. When we play them as well, we played like very destructive. We didn't play. We didn't have any build up. We just bum rushed them. And also they were pretty low in the Cascades. We never played them in the Cascades either. So it's quite hard to say. Like, but evidently they would need to practice more together. And it showed. Like they didn't have that. I mean, Skip and Smiley hasn't played a game together for like 4 years or something like that.
Right.
And it showed that they couldn't really find each other to build. They had to stick to some very basic like 2-1-2, 2-3 tactics with detached offense, defense. And that's not going to work in the long run. So.
Yeah. Well, Hekki or Domi, did you have anything to add in terms of things that Tigers did well or not so well before we choose some stand-up players?
Yeah, I would say like I'm always impressed by Smiley, like in arena. Like one moment I look at him, and then like 2 moments later he's like 20 meters behind me, and so I don't know how he does it, but he just disappears and then appears again. But I mean the other players, I think they play decently. So we didn't get it in the bases instantly. Like we had to like stay there a bit. So I think props to them to beating Pariah, I think.
Yeah, cool. Hekki, you got anything to add?
Well, nothing really except for that it was pretty cool seeing Skip play again after such a while. And I think, while as Mumin mentioned that he is kind of stuck in the old ways, so to say, and that could be seen in the game, but I thought he played pretty well. And he was like really well spirited throughout the entire tournament. Like he tried even when they were putting against teams that they have basically 1% chance of winning. He kept on trying and playing super hard and fast, and it was lovely to see.
Yeah, that's super cool. Good on him. How old is Skip? Is he getting on? Is he on the older side?
No.
No?
He's one of he used to be one of the younger players in Finland.
Okay.
That's not
like 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
I think he was 18. I think he was 18 when we played Worlds 2009. What would that make him? 35. Yeah. Something.
I mean, That's old by my books, mate. That's basically a
No,
fossil in my books.
Okay, let's say it's 33 then, because I know it's one of the youngest ones.
All right. Definitely young compared to you, man. That's all we'll say. Huh?
He still
That's
has
all
hair.
Right. Damn. Well, who would we pick for our standout players? Mumin, you can go first.
Oof. Okay, I'm not going to pick Smile or Skip. Like, let's look at the others. And I would say Eliter. I think she could be really good in the future. Like, yeah, she's young, but she's fearless. Like, she's not. Well, how do you call it when you play without respect towards the other teams? Like, she's not afraid. So I would say, I have high hopes that she will be a really good player one day. So I'll pick her.
A second. You said she's 12?
Or is it something like that? I'm not sure. Like, she's probably pretty pissed off somewhere in Sweden right now, looking at this. It's something like that. Like, she's not old. Just maybe 13. Yeah.
No, good on her. Well, yeah, I mean, but if she keeps playing until she's like, a young adult, she'll probably be crazy, right? I feel like anyone that does anything from when they're like that 11 to 13 range until they're like an adult, by the time they get there, they're crazy. So that'd be really exciting. Domi, you got a pick?
Yeah, but mine is I would pick Smiley. It's not much of a surprise, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hekki, what about you, bro?
Yeah, I would go with Skip for the same reasons that I just talked about.
Also, obviously, we've got LSA has a pretty big, Australian following, and what I like we tried to do a little bit in the last stream was getting you guys to compare. Well, I say you guys, Mumin. Now that you've been to nationals in Australia, comparing these legendary European players to players that you've seen at nationals. Who would you compare Smiley and Skip to at an Australian nationals? Even if it's a rough.
Yeah, Skip in his prime reminds a lot about Twinkles.
Mm-hmm.
Something, not maybe as skilled as him, but they have pretty much the same play style.
Yeah,
Smiler, I don't know. I was actually we were talking about it. I'm not sure. I don't know, Spider maybe, but still not, because Spider is more of a pack-on-pack player, but he has this zone of control right outside the base, a little bit further back, letting people in, making sure they get the bases down. You could tell when we played we had no Smiley, because Hamid got 10 denies in the bases.
Nice.
So,
yeah. So Spider, in terms of how he has control outside of the bases in an area, but not in terms of actual play style, would you say? In terms of how he duels and stuff.
No, exactly. Position-wise,
yeah. No, that's cool. That's cool. All right. Have we got anything else we'd like to say about taggers before we move on?
No, I just hope the younger ones keep playing.
100%. Well, I mean, yeah, I feel like having younger players being able to play with players like Skip and Smiley, these, legendary European players, I think that goes a long way in their development. It might not be obvious initially, but I think it'll definitely pay off. I think that's super cool. So yeah, fingers crossed. Keep playing laser tag, kiddos. Anything else about taggers before we move on, guys?
Nope.
No. Happy days. Next we have
It.
I don't know how to pronounce that. Someone pronounce that for me.
Eparia.
And who's taking Eparia? Who's taking that one?
It's me.
Shoot. Tell us about this team.
Yeah, so I think I would say one of the best stories of the entire tournament.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody was surprised by how well they played as a team, myself included. And I usually, I have seen them progress throughout the Finnish tournaments in the last 2 years or so. and I was super surprised at how well they played. Like them beating Piraya by so like, and it was not even that close, to be honest. Like they were clearly the stronger five-man team there, and that surprised the hell out of me. They played super well as a team, and every one of their players had like a role that they were like clearly into and delivered in those roles super well. I was super impressed by them, by the kiddos.
Let's see. And where is this a Finnish team?
Yeah, it's a Finnish kids team. Like I think they're all between 13 and 15 years old, or 16, maybe one of them.
That's sick.
So super young. This was their
that's
first
really cool.
overseas tournament as well.
Was there one old guy on this tournament, or was that the last time? Like last Swenats, there was a kids team with one old dude.
Yeah, it was Mumin's team, right?
Ah, damn.
That is true, though. Yeah.
Yeah, it is actually.
Some old guy. Damn,
Some
that's
old
rough.
guy.
But now there was no old guy on this team.
No.
You know old guys in this team.
That's really cool that they were able to. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's really cool. That's super cool.
And I think what impressed me the most was like how they progressed throughout the tournament. Like they always talked about each game, and I know they talked with me about some games and the legacy guys about their games, and they wanted to improve and deliver their best performances, and that's just something that I love to see every time, because it reminds me of myself when I was a bit younger, you know. I was just super impressed by them. Like I said, one of the best stories of the tournament for sure, if not the best.
Yeah, that's sick. What were the particular strengths of this team in the games, would you say? Like, how did they play and all of that kind of stuff?
So I would say that they had a pretty good, like, two-person attack blitzes with Jesse and Franklin. And then their just overall, like, team play was quite good. Like, the chemistry is there. And the communication was pretty impressive, especially when you compare it to how it was like a tournament before this. I would say that team play, cohesion, at their offense, on their two-man offense, basically.
Yeah, sick. And what would you say held them back from climbing another position or two, would you say?
I think it really just came down to their pack skills. If you compare to who was 8, it just came down to pack skills. They climbed as far as they could with this team, with this amount of experience they have. But I don't know, in a few tournaments, they will probably kick many of the other teams' asses. So
yeah, sick. And do you reckon this will be a team that keeps playing like as a unit?
Oh yeah. I know
That's
they're
really
planning
cool.
to go to Germany, for an example, in like 4 or 5 months, whenever is it. So they're very much gonna be playing together for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I think that's really sick. I think the combination of like a team of youngsters that obviously have so much potential, so much like they saying they're like team talking out there every game and getting super into it. There's obviously like all this enthusiasm, right? If you can combine these things, and you play together for like over multiple tournaments, like that's when you get those crazy good teams. And I think like the Wolfpack now Catalyst in Australia is an example of one of those teams where they all got together. I think when they would have been, I would say 16, 17, I would say. And yeah, they just played like together all the time. Their first nationals, they came third, which was insane. And it's just an example of one of those teams that just like, they stuck together. They're all like around the same age, all super eager, super hungry, and they just kept playing together. And that's how you get these super dominant teams down the track. So very exciting for Ibraya. Very good. Well done, me. Easy. Mumin and Domi, do you have anything you would like to add in terms of things you were impressed by, or things you maybe some shortcomings of this team?
Yeah. Firstly, like they won the low tier, so to speak. Like this is really well performed. And also I would like to say something that I thought was pretty awesome is how the whole Finnish community sort of helped them out. Like Retchen having a a team talk with them. Like he went over to where they stayed and he sat down with them and talked about their games and everyone was like super supportive of the team, which is great to see. Like it warmed my heart a little bit.
Yeah.
No, that's super cool. I think there needs to be more of that in general, for sure. So there's a, I don't know, shining example for everyone to live up to. But Domi, what did you have you got any notes, things you would like to add about this team?
Yeah, I mean, I was impressed by like their team play at such a young age, and also like we played them, and we as a team were also impressed like how well they played actually. So we didn't expect that, of course, but yeah. And also like my girlfriend was writing me after the games, and she was like writing me like, "You played against kids, and they were playing so well," and it's just like. I'm now a fan of Aperia. So, yeah. So they have +1 fan now with my girlfriend.
Yes. Yeah. If Aperia has 100 fans, she is one of them. If they have one fan, she is one of them. And if they have no fans,
yeah, I mean, I'm becoming a fan too. So
me too.
Yeah,
they're building up quite the fan base. Very cool. They're going to have a whole merchandise store before long. Everyone's going to be repping the merch.
I need like a hoodie like Aperia.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a sick logo. I don't.
Yeah.
You were saying, Hekki, that the logo has literally nothing to do with the team name, right?
So I actually now know why it is Rat Express. It's some kind of like a company in the city some of the players live in, and it was their sponsor for this tournament.
They're a sponsor.
Yeah, cool. I think it's like a delivery service or something, postal stuff, probably.
Man, if you slap that on a hoodie, I would wear that. It's such
it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
It's such a I don't know what word to use, but I like it. I like it a lot. All right. Who is our picks for stand-up player? Hekki, you can get us started on that one.
So I was between two players, and I think one of them is someone who one of Mumin or Domi will choose. So I will go with the other one, and that's Jesse. Yes, I think he played a super great tournament, and he's someone who upped his level from the tournament before, which was Finnish Nationals, so big for this tournament. He surprised me so much by how well smart he played and how compassionate he was. So he's my pick.
Yep, Domi, who have you got?
Yeah, so I would go for the obvious one, I think, Franklin. Like he was also a stand-in for Legacy, I think, for a few games. Yeah. And he also played super well in their games. So yeah, Franklin. I think he was also like chosen as the MVP, right?
Yeah, he was.
Oh, yeah.
He was.
Yeah.
That's sick. So you guys have like an MVP award at the end?
Yeah.
How does that work? Is that voted on by like the players, or how does that work?
Each team gets one vote. It's conveyed by the captain. So in theory, the captain could just choose for himself, but it's supposed to be a team vote.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Well, yeah, well done, Franklin, on getting MVP for the tournament. That's sick. Mumin, who's your pick for stand up?
Jesse and Franklin already picked. As I mean, I think she's pretty good. She has to be the youngest, right?
I think Death is the youngest.
Yeah.
Her or Dead. They are both like 12 or 13, probably.
Yeah. All right.
That's
I think because she also played really well in Finland as well.
Yeah. She's really good at like sniping back points and like just sniping people in the back. I think that's
and that's usually at that age it's the hardest to find, like to support players.
Yeah.
She's doing a pretty good job on that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no.
And also,
you go.
Yeah, I just noticed. I think I'm the only one who has any correct guesses so far, right?
God damn.
I think so.
Yeah, no. The predictions were pretty off for like this whole thing.
Wait until we get to our team's movement.
Yeah, it gets
I think
spicy.
that might be
after
the
top.
only one I have correct for the entire tournament.
Yeah. Well, have we got any last things to say about Eberaya before we move on?
No. Good.
Nothing really.
Yeah.
No, happy days. Well, yeah, big congrats to the youngsters. Big congrats on having the best team logo. Well done to Franklin getting an MVP, and well done being one up from your predictions. Looking forward to. We'll be following your career closely. You're building up a bit of a fan base, guys. So
Oh yeah.
keep doing what you're doing.
Domi's
Alrighty.
girlfriend will be watching.
Tommy's
of
girlfriend
course.
will be watching at the very least.
We need the merch now.
100%. Alrighty. Moving on. 8th place. And that'll be who was talking about that? 6th Sense randomized. One up from predictions as well. Who's talking about these? Yeah, take it away, Domi. What can you tell us about this team?
I would say I was impressed by them. It's like they played like exactly like in this team last year in Sweden, and I'll have to say they had, I think, like high highs and low lows, I would say, because like I watched a few of their games in round robin, and I think one game they beat like Mega Friends Legacy and came out on top.
That's
and
crazy.
Maybe there was like another game where they came out on top. But I would say, yeah, like that impressed me. And then there were like other games where they just, I think, lost against Taggers, and I would put them like over Taggers every day of the week. So, I think they played well together. Like their synergy was better than last year, I would say. But I also think they're capable of placing much higher. So like in this tournament, I would say like 7-6 was possible, I think. Mm-hmm. But I think maybe German Nets next year. That's where I think the breakout tournament like is yet to come, where they truly show what they're capable of and their potential. Yeah.
What are some
like
specific things that what's some specific things that the team did really well? Like what's their strengths? What enabled them to get those high highs?
I think they were really good at like reacting to stuff in the game. Like for example, in the game with Mega Friends and Legacy, like they saw the opportunity. Like at that point, they were like fighting each other, and they saw the opportunity and took it. So that's how like they came out on top.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like also say like each of them has their own strength. So I think they're really like each of them knows how to play. Each of them has their strength, and together they're like the synergy is really good, I think.
That's sick. And what would you say? What are some of the shortcomings of this team? Like, what's some things that they might need to change in order to reach like higher?
Yeah. So I think like during the game, like if something doesn't work, I think that's where they panic a bit, and like they don't know what to do at that point. I think it's not always like that, but that's the feeling I get when I watch them. It's like for example, they're not getting in that base and it's not working. They try the other one, it's not working. Like, what do we do at this point? Like that's how I feel.
So kind of like what's their plan B when things go a bit south?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like everyone kind of like has to be on the same page when play A doesn't work.
Yeah.
And if someone like panics and what do we do now? What do we know? And like the panic gets spread across the whole team, like. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I think obviously laser tag being such a dynamic game, especially with the 3 teams, like what your plan B looks like can be different. But I think in general, just having like a team-wide understanding of like, okay, like this is our strategy we like to do. This is what we do when it's doing well. And if it's going well, we'll keep doing it. If it doesn't go well, we're going to make this change. And I guess like having that little bit of like certainty, I guess, like throughout the team is like a good way of like reducing that panic. Where like everyone knows like, okay, like we're down now, but we're on to like our plan B. There's still a chance we can get back into this game, and everyone knows what's happening. So like a basic example of that would be, let's say everyone in the arena is playing a super standard strategy. They've got like 3 defenders and 2 attackers, and everyone's just attacking each other. A really like basic example of what a plan B would look like would be your 2 attacks going out. They're just kind of getting piggybacks. They keep rocking up at bases when there's heaps of people there, or they're just really struggling to get in for whatever reason. Your like plan B could just be like, okay, when we get to that point and we need to catch some of the bases, we pull out a third. If the whole team is aware of that process, then when that third gets pulled out, the 2 defenders know like, okay, we need to play a little bit differently because there's only 2 of us, right? If it's like a team wide, like everyone knows like this is what our plan B is when things go south. If the team isn't aware of that, and let's say like you do that same thing and you just pull out a third, but the 2 defense, like, you know, like in the chaos, you know, it doesn't get communicated to them, or they're just like, they're not really sure what's happened. They're like, wait, where's our 3rd defender go? They just disappeared. And all of a sudden, like once you start getting in that kind of a mindset, that's when you start losing the duels you're not meant to lose. You know, you're in a good, powerful position and someone just lunges at you out and you're like, oh, how did I bloody lose that? But yeah, I think having a team-wide understanding of like what your plan B is super important, and being able to catch up, I guess. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sort of.
Sort of. Yeah. I went on a bit of a ramble there, but it wouldn't be a stream without a little bit of rambling from me. Who would you pick for a stand-up player from this team, Mr. Domi?
I was thinking between Jonas and Trefnix.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I would go with Trefnix. I think Jonas is like Jonas. Okay, I'm doing it in English, but Jonas is their brain, like the brain of the team, and Trefnix is like a really good pack point scorer. Like every time I watch them, he would get like 13k and like with an insane amount of pack points. So I think those 2, I would say. Yeah, I'm going for 2. I can't decide.
I'll allow it. You get once per stream. You get to pick 2 people for a time.
Okay.
Only 1 person from here on out. No worries. Mumin, who have you got?
I would just like to say first about the team before we move on. It's like,
oh yeah, true.
Yeah, Sixth Sense need to learn how to play the game when it moves fast, right? So
yeah.
When we play them, we deliberately up the tempo of the game because we know they're in trouble then, right? If we let the game move slowly, they are actually pretty strong. I would Trefnix. I mean, he did really. He was in the finals in doubles as well when he played with Reaper. I think they did really well.
Yeah, sick. Hekki, have you? Yeah, I forgot to go get around to you guys. Have you got anything you'd like to add about Sixth Sense Randomize before you make your pick for a stand-up player?
Well, not really. I think Domi and Mumin summarized it quite well. I especially agree with Mumin's comment about them not being so much in the game when it moves fast. Like, that's so true.
Mm-hmm.
I wholeheartedly agree. And my MVP will be easily Grizzly. I was super stressed that one of these guys will pick him before me, but he's easily my MVP. I think he played a super strong tournament this year and was a super annoying opponent to play against, like in the best way possible. He's super disciplined and like doesn't make stupid mistakes, and super technical as well, fast, super strong.
Yeah. Well, have we got anything else we would like to say about 6 Cents randomized before we wrap them up and move on? Nah. Cool. Well, yeah. Congrats to the team for being one up on predictions. Domi, do you reckon this will be a team that like is it a team that's staying together with like the same roster?
Yeah, it is. It is. I think in the German nets next year, Jonas is going to play with randoms. I think, I'm not sure, and then they will get another play of them. But yeah, it stays like this.
Yeah, cool. Well, keep on playing, keep on doing tournaments, and yeah, keep on moving up. Well done. Moving on to our 7th place team, we have Mapaches. And who is talking about them? Mumin is. Take it away, bro.
Yeah, so this is an American-Swedish team. And ABO or Avo is the guy who they lent to Tigers.
Right.
Yeah, that guy's got a big heart. Just want to say, mention him. And he also got the Fair Play Award. Like, he played for 2 teams, more or less. And he just did it, just to help out. And yeah, great guy, really. I also like to talk a little bit about doubles. Americans playing doubles. So basically, Gimpy and Renegade was supposed to play together in doubles. And then Gimpy lost his card, so we went to the hotel to find it. And when he got back, the team was already eliminated.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. And then Odin played with Big Boss, and they had a rough start. They were doing pretty well. And then Big Boss, he walked across the airlock line in a set series, and that means you're disqualified. So they got disqualified. They would probably have been in the grand final otherwise.
Yeah, they won the game and he looked the scorer as well.
So yeah, I'm not sure how much the Americans enjoy doubles.
Damn, that is a rough gig. Oh shit. Well, it happens to the best of us. Is the airlock just like a no play zone, I guess? Is it like the entrance to the arena or something, or what is it?
Yeah, it's the kid up room. Yeah.
Okay.
We say airlock in Sweden. Yeah, it's always called the airlock. I'm not. Did you say what do you call it, Hekki?
I use airlock as well.
Yeah, we say airlock. Yeah, you also say airlock. And you, Domi?
I'm not sure actually. I guess airlock is fine.
Yeah.
I understand what you guys mean.
Yeah, and you say kid up, right? Or what do you call it, Ryan?
Yeah, we call it kid up room, briefing room. If the packs happen to be like the room like right before the arena, then like pack room. We use all of those pretty interchangeably.
Yeah, Americans call it vesting rooms. It has a lot of names, that room. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Was it like an egregious like entry into the airlock? Like he's got and like started playing in there, or was it just like a foot or something?
No. Because we play a lot of games in sets, right? That's what we do. Especially when I run tournaments, there's always a lot of sets of games. So doubles was sets of 2, because the grid was an American layout and not Australian. So
yeah.
So that meant like between the games you cannot exit the airlock because you can see the scoreboard, right? If you exit the airlock.
Right.
So if you exit, then you're disqualified regardless if you saw it or not. Like, and we have a tape line in the corridor leading out of the airlock, and you cross it, you're disqualified. And he did, and the airlock was like shouting to him like big boss, and he was walking like backwards across the line, like what?
Oh my god. Yeah. That's a rough gig, man. Well, that's the kind of mistake you only make once, right? You only make that one once. That's shit house. Oh well. Outside of doubles, how did this team go?
Pretty good, actually. Like they were they had a rough time at the start. I think they started out pretty low, like 10th going into Cascade 1 or something like that. But they played it like it was like how you're supposed to do it, coming in from as a lower end team. Like they were building something. Like they had a lot of discussions. I saw they had a lot of like team talks, and they improved and they climbed. And they climbed to a point when they were a little bit out of their depth in System D, and then they got totally run over by Salad Mix in the end. But I think they should be happy about this. And Hekki, 1 point for you. There you go. You had 7.
Oh yeah.
Are you tracking it? Are you tracking this?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, good man. Good
Yeah.
man. That's good. The only bragging rights that matter is who gets the closest predictions.
Well,
That's
we'll
all
take
I'm
what
saying.
we can, right?
That's true.
Right,
Well, how did the team play? Obviously, it being a US, was it Finnish? No, US and Swedish mix. Like,
Yeah.
how did they play in the arena? I would imagine it'd be pretty interesting, right?
Yeah, because they were pretty low, we didn't play them as much. I refed them a few times. I'm a little bit unsure. Like they did have a build-up, and you had Odin going on solo sprees every now and then, and he also played a little bit with Gimpy in the offense. It was, and that was all right. But when they played really well, they had the build-up. Like they built like from blue to green or red to green. Or green to blue, like you would do in Hobart between blue and green. You know, you have all 5 players leading up to the next base, more or less.
Yeah.
They did, yeah, and I know that Big Boss designed those attacks, and they really worked actually against especially in the mid. Like they got a lot of these bases that looked really smart execute. So that part it went really well. Well, if we look at what they had trouble with is the pack score. Like the pack score is not Pariah pack score. We're not talking about that, but it was uneven. Like they never had, from what I saw. Of course, I didn't check every time. Like not everyone above 100. Like it was very like one had like maybe 130, and then the next guy had like 60, 70.
Oh,
and then
geez. Like tag ratio you're talking about?
Yeah, tag ratio. And then someone had like 100, and then like it was not like they didn't have position for pack points, I think.
Yeah.
In the manner as the top teams had. So even though they did have some really nice executes, they had a pretty good like standard gameplay. They were not as effective on the field points, pack points, field points, call it whatever you like.
Oh, yeah, cool. Domi and Hekki, have you got anything to add about this team?
Not really, but I would actually not flat out disagree with Mumin about their pack points, but I would say that their biggest weakness was cracking bases, especially if there was actual defense or like a third team came to challenge them for a base. I think that's where they kind of like got lost in the end game a lot, because they don't have many base crackers in the team.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
that's true. They always had less bases than the others.
Yeah, exactly, because I think on pack points, like when you look at the overall pack score of the team, they actually battled quite well with the team that's coming up next, for an example.
Yeah, that's fair. And also, like with Big Boss being I think he was the in-game leader. He's very scientific about things. Yeah.
Domi, have you got anything you'd like to add? Any observations about this team?
Yeah, I would agree with Hekki on the basis, but also like I remember one game where they were blue, and like I think I was alone on their base, and they were like standing. I think 3 guys were defending.
Yeah,
and I would just run around the blue base, take all 3, then get shot out, and then do it again, like 3 times in a row. So yeah, I guess that's kind of like having to focus on one player with like 3 guys is not optimal as well. Yeah.
Yeah, especially if that one guy's shooting everyone as well, right? Like, it's one thing if there's one guy there, but you're completely shutting them down. That's still like a net loss for the team, I think, if you've got 3 people shooting one dude that's not getting anything.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
then you basically have 2 people not getting anything, right? Like you have one person that's getting a kill every now and then, and that's about it.
And 2 people with no points, yeah, and that's nice.
Yeah. Where was I going with that? I've had a long day, all right, guys. My bloody brain is fried. It's fried scrambled eggs in my brain right now. Yeah, I think that's a really easy mistake for teams to make. So we in Adelaide actually have a word for that. We call it a brick wall. Is when like that one player you just send to a base to make them like force them to make a decision of like, are they going to commit players to like defend this person out, or are they just going to leave them and then like have that risk of them potentially getting like a base that they realistically shouldn't. We call it brick wall because like sometimes it is just like bashing your head on a bloody brick wall, especially if you were playing like with trigger lockout. We'd play with trigger lockout in Adelaide, my home side. Yeah, and it's a really tough spot because if you, let's say one person comes with a brick wall, your defense has to make a decision like, okay, there's obviously only one. Do we send like at least one of our guys to go help out the attack or something, or just go float into the mid and get some pack points, and then just hope that our 2 like stay super crisp and don't make any mistakes? Or do you commit the 3? It kind of, I guess it depends on the game state, but it's a really good way of my team uses brick walls. Let's say there's a team that is causing, like they're having a pretty big presence in the arena, like occupying the middle of the arena, getting heaps of field points. Sending a brick wall their way is a really good way of kind of mitigating that presence they can have on the game. And then if that brick wall is able to get some tags, like you were doing, Domi, like you were saying, if they're actually getting tags, so that's crazy value out of just sending one player like in a direction.
Yeah.
Right? And if
I
you
mean,
can get
there's,
the
like,
base
also
on top
teams
of
that-
that, it's like,
Yeah. I mean, there are teams that are doing like they're doing really well. Like if you send, like, how you call it, a brick wall, and then they're just 2 guys, and you're constantly just getting shot out.
yeah, 100%. I think the like, if you set, you can't send, you have to leave 2 there pretty much. If you leave 1, then it's just like that person only has to win 1 duel and you're dropping a base. So you have to have 2 there. But yeah, they need to be super crisp with their comms and not make any mistakes. Otherwise, that person's gonna get, that team's gonna get crazy value out of their brick wall. And then yeah, if you have 3 people there, you got 3 people looking at 1 dude. That's just do the math. Do the math, people. That's not a good trade.
Well, I think that when it comes to what you call the brick wall is, if you send it against, and this is I'm not sure about the Mapaches in this, but if you send that against a team that does not have like really good comms, that is super effective. It's like, like everyone has, like you used to have Noob in Savants, and we have Smiley or Slanesh or whoever it might be, or Domi, or if they play against, or Hacker for that part, against a team that does not comm correctly where the brick wall is at any given time, then there's no way, like, it's going to do so much damage to your build up and your whole teams. Yeah.
Is the use of a brick wall something that's like, is that like a relatively common thing in Europe? Because I know it's becoming more and more popular in Australia, I think, for sure.
Especially as we don't have reloads.
Yeah.
True.
So you can brawl there all day, right? Yeah, so we've always, especially in the old Gothenburg arena, I'm not sure if you played there, Hekki or Domi, but like one base was a little bit like far away. And you just sent one guy down there, and that team could never really move, enter the game because they were
that's rough.
Down.
That's a rough gig. Well, anyway, a bit of a tangent there, but does anyone else have anything they'd like to add about this team before we move on to picking some standout players?
Yes, I would like to say that it's evident that America is getting better. First time they came here, like they were really like lost in how to play. Now they are playing much more solid. Granted, it was only 3 of them in the team, but you could tell like they played much smarter now this time around than they did last time.
Yeah, good on them. That's exciting for the US guys for sure. Anything else? Nah. All right. Who is our standout players? Mumin, you go first, bro.
I'll go for Odin still. Like it's always nice when you have like a younger player trying to get better, working hard for it. Like I could tell like he was taking like I saw Reaper teaching him some grips, and like he's actively looking for ways to improve. And I think that is so commendable. Like that's how you get good. Like just like Apari did with talking to the older Finnish players in how to improve. So did like Odin did the same. Like it's that humility that makes you better, right?
Yeah, 100%. Just like if you don't have that humility, then like you're never gonna approach that person that you know has something to offer you, because your ego will just be like, no, like I can't get anything from this guy. Like, what are you on about? 100%. Odin, yep. Okay, Domi, who is your pick?
Yeah, I'm feeling like I'm always going for the obvious picks here.
It's okay.
So, yeah, I would say Big Boss, because I feel like he was trying. He was the one trying to get to keep this whole team together, also with the US guys, and I think at times it worked really well actually. He was, I think, defending, and then at some point like a little bit more trying to help with the attack, and like I feel like he was trying to organize this whole thing.
Good on him. He was putting a lot of bloody effort in, huh? Good on him. Hekki, who's your pick?
So I'm gonna be boring and pick Big Boss as well, but it's so obvious that he was the best player in the team. I think, everybody who has played against him, especially in that arena, knows he's a monster when it comes to back skills and scoring there. But as Domi said, it was very fun to see him take kind of a leadership role, especially because me and him have played in the same team for a while now, and he's never like the brains of the operation, so to say. So it was really cool seeing him take the leadership and like really push his team forward and stuff like that. And he's always so positive and like cheering them on and like telling them where to be and when to be there. Like I was super impressed by him. I'm always like, when I thought about who were my toughest opponents in the arena from the entire tournament, like it's him and Valojääkäri. Like when it came to like 1v1 duels and stuff like that.
Yeah, happy days. If we could compare Big Boss to Australian player Mumin, who would you compare him to?
It's like a mix maybe between Beefy and Okerai or something like that. It's really hard to say, but like because I would say Beefy maybe.
Yeah.
Sort of. Yeah, but he's not like he's more involved. Like Beefy feels more like a specialist at times. Like, but Big Boss is a little bit more all around.
Yeah.
It's really hard. Like it's something like that because he has that build, right?
Yeah, he's called Big Boss for a reason, huh?
Yeah, he's a beefy man, so to say.
Yeah, sick. Well, have we got any last closing thoughts for Mapaches before we move on? No, cool. Well, congrats to them. 1-up from predictions. Super excited that the US guys are obviously they're getting better and better every year, which makes me going to the US Nationals next year very, very exciting. I'll see you there, boys. Alrighty, moving on. 6th place, we got Salad Mix, the only team that was predicted correctly. So, and Hekki, this is another one for you. That's another point for Hekki right there.
Oh my
Not
God.
predicted correctly by Mumin once again, though. So.
Oh yeah.
You're in the lead, actually.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Not for long though.
Who's talking about salad mix? I believe we had.
It
Hekki.
is me. It is me. Yeah.
Take it away, bro.
So yeah, I think I would summarize it by saying that it was pretty much how I expected them to play. Like the sixth place, they are pretty strong when it comes to pack skills and stuff like that. But what they were missing in this tournament in particular was an actual leader. They did not have any leadership in the team. It was basically two people trying to do some like in-game leader stuff, and I think it kind of got lost in the shuffle a little bit because of that. And they maybe positioned their players quite weirdly at times. Like you had people attacking on the offense who shouldn't probably be attacking, and then people staying on defense with 0 score for half of the game who should be actually doing the offensive work. Like some weird decisions, but that's kind of what I expected them to do because I knew that they wouldn't have a like concrete leader coming into this tournament. And they are still like most of them have played for a long time, but they are still kind of like developing players in a way. Most of them,
Yeah.
I guess you could say. Maybe not actually, but maybe you could say that. But yeah, about as I expected. They had some solid. Well, from the middle of the pack, they were clearly the strongest team, right? I would say from this like 6th place to 8th or 9th place. But when it comes to the next team, that is 5th, which I'm going to be talking about as well, I think it was clear that they were never going to make it past the 6th place. I think that was super clear from the start, and they never got better as a team throughout the tournament. They just stayed at their comfy spot and just basically stayed there and played how they usually play.
Yeah, right. And is this a like a roster that normally plays together? Like if they played?
It's kind of a newish. So you got Piach and Deva who have played together. I think Piach has been playing actively for like 6 years, and he has only played one tournament without Deva. So they play together every time. And then you got Mina who used to play with them for a few years, but then got dipped away. But now she has been playing at tournaments again with those two. And then you got Alari and Ika, who are younger players who have been playing competitions for like 1.5 years now, and they've been playing together as a duo for that time. So it's kind of a mix-up of like two squads in a way. And they played with the same roster minus Mina at Finnish Nationals tournament before this, so it was kind of like their second time around with this kind of a lineup.
Could you see them playing together again as well with the same roster?
Well, I don't think the exact same roster will happen again. I think they will have 3 or maybe 3 of them or 4 of them playing together, but not this 5. I don't think so.
And when you say this team didn't really have a leader, is that in a more like outside of the game sense, like leading, like in terms of team chats and just
no I mean
or do you mean in the
leader.
game?
In the game, yeah, because that's where they kind of got lost, because I could hear them and I know the players super well because they play in the same city as me, 4 of them. So I know that they kind of get lost if there's not someone like telling them where to be, what to do and stuff like that. And I could hear them yelling at each other like, what are we doing now? What are we doing now? Yelling at each other, you know? And it was weird because Piach actually took the leadership role at Finnish Nationals a couple of months earlier, but this tournament he really didn't take it at all. I guess the map was a bit harder for him, which is understandable. It's harder for most of the Finns, I guess. But yeah, it was interesting in that sense. But like I said, for me, pretty much as I expected them to play.
Do you, for this team to like really be able to break past that 6th place spot, do you think they need another player on the team to really like take full control of that leadership kind of position in the game, or do you think one of these players has the potential to fill that position?
I don't think so, because as I told you guys, Piach was the leader at Finnish Nationals, but at the same time he's the best pack player in the team. And when he takes the leadership role, he kind of like thinks about it too much, maybe loses some like pack power at that point. I think they need a more experienced in-game leader to like really get the pack, really get the squad going. And I think if they get that and they roll with it, they can really start making the finals maybe in like a year or something, because they are pretty strong when it comes to pack skills.
Yeah, cool. Domi, Mumin, have you got any observations?
Yeah, this team, like I played sort of this team in Finland on Finnish arenas. Whole different thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because those are very lockable. Like their bases are more like forts, and ours are more like a closet. So it's it doesn't. Yeah, so they can sort of rely on that, rely on a base D more than here. Like it's like a lot of the defense is going on outside the base, which is not very Finnish. In Finland, the defense is inside the base much more. Of course, we have a defender inside as well, but it's small and it's easy to access. So you can't just stack people inside to hold anything. And it threw them. Like it's, I was surprised at how much of a hard time they had. Like they were sixth, so it's not, and it's where they were predicted to be. But I didn't think there would be such a gap between sixth and fifth. Such a clear gap because this team beat a few good teams in Finnish nets.
Yeah, not really.
They did.
I don't think so.
They did. They beat you, didn't they?
What?
This is not exactly the same team. Or is it Legacy they beat?
Do you mean like a one-off game or something?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they beat us a couple of times. Yeah, that's fine. I was thinking that they're crazy.
Like,
crazy
no
talk.
way!
Yeah, no, what?
No, like
yeah,
that.
you are correct about that. And as you said, like the Jyväskylä arena where we played Finland, it's super better for them than the Buros arena because they have the like Helsinki like bases that most of their players are really super comfortable with.
Someone has to send me a you said the Helsinki bases are the ones that are like forts?
Yeah.
Is that what you said? Someone's got to send me a maze map. I want to see this.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, we'll arrange that afterwards. All right. Domi, have you got anything you'd like to add about Salad Mix?
Yeah, just that like I haven't played them on a Finnish arena because we haven't played Finnish nets this year. But we were impressed. Like they beat us one time in round robin. So, but I also think so. For me, there's like a clear gap between sixth and fifth. But I think also like you said, Hekki, there's a clear six, and like from what I saw in this tournament, I think six was the only place where they ended up. Like if there would have been like fifth, that would have been like very impressive. And then if there would be like 7th or below, I think that would be like a bit of a disappointment. Like for them, I feel.
Oh
yeah. Yeah, cool. Well, they've done exactly as they were supposed to. Who is our picks for stand-up players, everyone? Hekki, you can go first.
So I'm actually between three players, but I'm gonna rep my boy and say it's Ellery. He's someone who I have been kind of coaching a little bit for like the past year and a half or so. And I was super proud at how like smart and well he played in the Swedish bases for the first time ever and stuff like that.
Yep.
He wants to get better and he puts the work in to get better. And I always love to see that. But he's one of the players who really suffered the most from the lack of leadership in the team because he's someone who relies super much at this point of his career for there to be someone who tells him what to do and where to be and when to do it. So, but he's my pick.
Yeah, cool. You're not going to burn your being able to pick two people yet. You're going to hold on to that guy?
Not yet.
All right, he's holding on to it. Domi, who have you got?
I was also like torn between LRE and PH. I'm doing it again. I'm going for two guys again. I'm gonna go for PH because he had like I think he was the strongest spec scorer of this team
for sure.
And so he has been playing for like a long time, right?
Yeah, I think he's been attending competitions for like 6 years now actively.
Okay, yeah, but he impressed me. Like had good score, and like when I was roughing, he was like trying to. I think he was trying to be the leader from what I saw. Like he was communicating very, very strong and so on.
Yeah.
But also LRE. I think LRE has a really strong technique and.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
No, you're good. You're good.
I'm done.
Finish your game, damn it.
You're all right, mate. You're all right. Cool. Ellery and Piach. Mumin, who have you got?
Mina. She's so
Mina.
underrated. Yeah, she's really good.
Yeah.
Great. Like she wants to win. Like she's yeah. Ever since she like for a pretty long time she has been like a really good player. She just never really found a team. She played with Hekki in Germany and they won that one. And she has played like a few tournaments with like a strong team, but she never really had the chance to prove herself in a strong team. But she's really good. Like awesome player. I
mean, yeah, she's got some good stats there, like third in Finnish Nats, third in Sweden Nats, and a first in Germany. That's pretty cool. Good on her. Any other things we'd like to say about Salad Mix before we move into our top 5? No? Happy days. Well, yeah, word on Salad Mix for doing exactly what you were supposed to do. And yeah, being the only team that we got the prediction right for. So happy days. Moving on to 5th place.
Oh no.
We have Mega Friends down 3 from predictions. No. God damn, boy. Hekki, are you talking about your own team or have you got someone else? Yeah? All right, bro. What's the story, mate? What's the story?
So when you look at the number we ended up, it's super disappointing, right? Like there's no way around it. It's the worst nationals result for me in 5 years, I think. And I think it's the same for everyone in the team except for one player. So it's super disappointing. But at the same time, it was the first time out playing with this 5, and I think at our best in the tournament, we were clearly the strongest, like back players in the 5-man or 5-person back players in the arena compared against the other top 4 teams. Mm-hmm. And I think all of us are, while we are upset and disappointed, we are also like motivated to keep going because we want to get this team to championship level, and we know we can do it if we just keep on grinding a little bit. So I was really happy, even though the result stinks, as I said. but I was happy. We always played for the win, especially in the semifinals, and that ended up costing us in the very last game, big time. But that's the game, you know. That's the game.
Yeah, 100%. What in terms of how did your team play like strategically? Like what was your setup? What was going on?
Well, we tried a lot of different things, but our main setup was basically either 3 people attacking or 2 people attacking, and then basically we had a last line and then 2 people close by to like run back if needed.
It makes me very happy you said last line because I've been going back and forth with Runt and the Hobart guys, and they're all like, it's Anchor, but they're the only ones calling it Anchor, and I'm like,
I love the last line. I love the last line.
We actually do use the word Anchor for Elim.
I use Anchor for Elim as well. But not last line is the correct answer in case anyone is wondering. Thank you very much for that. So you're playing a pretty standard strategy, like variations of 3-2 and 2-3.
But we also tried a lot of different things throughout. But that was like our main setup against tougher teams. Yeah.
No, that's cool. What would you say was the decision making between doing a 3 defense versus a 2 defense and like having like the 3 attack, 2 attack? Was that like you would start out the game like that, or was it like a like mid game decision?
No. It was designed for each base basically. Like, well, Mumin and Domi know the arena. So from red, we thought that there's no point in leaving 3 people like staying in the red area because it's kind of like a hellhole. So we did 3-person attacks on green from there. And then on blue, we did 2-person attacks to green as well. But on blue, it's like more beneficial to have 3 people there because you can actually like move up much more easily than in red.
Right.
So it was we had everything like for each base we had something different designed. So
Yeah, that's cool. Well, what would you say were some of the shortcomings of your team? Like, what's gotten you 3 spots below predictions?
fade Hekki, but
Ah.
that's just a joke, mate. but yeah, I really don't know. It's a weird feeling because usually if I have like not ranked as I imagined at a tournament, there's been like 1 or 2 clear things that I could like point out. But this tournament, I think the feeling for all of us is like we played well, but at the end, we kind of, it's a 3-team game, and at the very last game, we got in a situation that wasn't winnable for us in the last half of the game, and that cost us. So, but as I said, like it's maybe sounds a bit like egotistical, but I think at our best during the tournament, we were clearly the strongest team out there, like for a long time during the tournament. Maybe we lacked some like killer instinct or like finish like second gear, stuff like that to get like really in the game phase. So like, I really don't know, but yeah, we are going to try to run this back for many more times, hopefully, and I think we'll get to the championship level that we should have been at here, but we weren't. So it's going to be interesting.
Mumin, you got something to add, mate?
Yeah, well, we played all 3 golden games last Mega Friends.
Damn.
Neither of us went through. And we were looking at like different things that happened with the team because we were not happy either. Like nobody wants the pineapple, right?
Yeah.
Well, and then I looked at the stats, and it like I'm guessing now because Hekki's smarter than me when it comes to laser tag, but it came down to me and Hekki as individuals on field. Like our score was not good. Like neither of us did. We ranked in out of the 60 players in the finals. I was like 54 and Hekki was 55, or it was the other way around or something like that. And the rest of our teams were pretty high. So if just me and Hekki would have stopped thinking so much and just pack scored, both of our teams would be in the final.
Probably.
And that is it, because we were overthinking, and I'm like, okay, how to shut down Hacker and how to get this third team over, like how to, I was thinking so much on how to actually play it. When we reach game 3, every time it turns out like, okay, it's not us, or you guys realized, okay, it's not us. And we were so screwed first time around because Mega Friends was so strong. When Legacy went through, we were so sure. It ended up in our base, and we had it like we should have had it.
Yeah.
And we had a pretty weak first game. And we were like, yeah, okay, so Mega Friends won this one. We didn't even think that maybe Legacy had 10 because they had 10 bases, and we didn't realize it. We totally missed it. So it's like, okay, Mega Friends is in the lead. So when it came down to the last game and we were at our base and neither of the teams had our base, like all 5. So we were like, okay, so Mega Friends won the first one. So we just bet on them being in the lead. So let's shut down. I think it was, I don't remember, you were missing a few bases. So instead, so instead Legacy got 2. I don't think it mattered, but we should have read that. Like we should have. And we do that. We'll get to that later. Let's not talk about us.
Domi, have you got anything to add about Mega Friends?
Yeah, I would agree with Hekki because I think like at your best, you were like clearly the best like team pack points wise.
Yeah.
So for me that's clear. But like if you guys like you said in the preview, I think, or like David said, like you guys always try to dominate the maze. And so if stuff like wouldn't work out, or if a team locks you out of their base and stuff, and that wouldn't work, so then you guys have no bases. I think you still had the pack points, but like at that point, your plan to dominate it didn't work, and then you're like stuck. What do we do now?
Oh yeah, that has been kind of a running thing for Helsinki as a whole this year. Like when it comes down, like we are always, not just this team, but like Helsinki in general, like the so-called better players. we always can trust the fact that we probably are leading when it comes to back points, right? That's just the fact that Helsinki usually wins on back points, the tough games. But we have been struggling this year super hard when it comes to end game and getting bases when we need them. And that was the team this tournament as well in the very last game. So it is interesting.
I think it gets a little one-dimensional because it's so clear in the arena. You're trying to run that narrative.
For sure,
yeah. So that needs to be because everyone knows that you'll win if that happens. It's the same with you play in Australia. If you just play pack points, then Catalyst will win. Right?
Yeah.
Everyone is ready to counter it.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of why I think I mentioned the lack of like killer instinct or second gear, because I think we never kind of like kicked into that second gear where we know that we have to like really like fist our way into the bases, like kill everybody and actually take the base. But we never kind of like got into that. We just played our comfortable game throughout, even though we were better at it this time than in Frankfurt, for an example, where we actually did not discuss the games at all. Like we just played basically laser tag, just went into the maze and played. We placed third there, but this tournament we were better when it came to that. Like we talked about each game, thought about like what we could do different and stuff like that. So it was a clear upgrade in that sense.
Yeah. Well, we'll pick some standout players now. Hekki, who's your pick?
So I would actually like to give a shout out to all the players, because I think everybody in the team really did what I could all ask them to do, and even better than that. Like I could trust all of them 100%, but I don't want to be boring and just pick everybody. So it's hard for me because I actually could just pick anyone. Hacker is the obvious choice because when you look at the stats, like numbers don't lie at some point, right? Like he's the best player in Europe, but I'm not gonna pick him because I'm not boring, right? I'm gonna pick Minerva because she's really such a perfect, reliable teammate. Like she does exactly what you tell her to do, and even better. And then she comes asking like what I want her to do next and stuff like that. A super strong back player, fast player. Like she played our last line defense, and she was brilliant at it. She's my pick.
Yeah, hell yeah. Domi, who's your pick?
I would go for Caps because I would say, like he was a really strong player. Like I noticed him in the arena, like when I played against him. Obviously a hacker too, but I'm not boring this time, so I'm gonna go for Caps. Yeah, I mean he had great stats, like hacker as well. So
yeah, happy days.
He was my other pick as well. He was my second pick. So good choice.
Mumin, who's your pick, man?
I gotta go with Hacker. He's got to get something right.
Yeah, he's gonna be up there otherwise.
No, I've been hassling him quite a lot because he is arguably, like, there are a few names around the world you can mention, like Runt maybe or so, but I would hold Hacker as the best player in the world, actually.
Yeah. I think in Europe at least it's very clear that he's number one.
Yeah, he is insanely good.
He's the best.
Yeah, I would say so. Like, I would at least, okay, let's say if there was a top three, he would win top three. Let's say it like that instead. Insanely good player, but always weighed down with the burden of being the best player, like every time. And everyone knows that, okay, let's not have him play his game, like. And he also has quite a lot of responsibility getting people through, and like he has all of these chores he needs to do before he can actually start packing. So we just make sure that he doesn't get his chores done. And that's how it is. I feel bad for the guy. He's really good, but he's always a victim of circumstances.
Yeah. Well, have we got anything else we'd like to say about Mega Friends before we move on? Nah. Well, yeah, cool. Another team that looks to be sticking together. So, lick your wounds, learn from your losses, and I'm sure you guys will be back and causing some trouble in the next tournament. What is the next tournament in Europe, by the way?
German Nats.
Germany, I think, right?
Yeah, that's gonna be the next big one in
It's
April.
like major, yeah.
Yeah.
It will probably be a minor between, right?
Yeah, probably in Finland a few of
Yep,
them at
yep.
least. Yeah.
Will Mega Friends make an appearance at the German Nationals? Do we know?
Yeah, looks like it because we actually, myself, Hacker, and Elkku won the German championships in that same arena a couple of years back. So we are really looking forward to going back there.
Gotta run it back and defend your title, huh?
Oh yeah.
Good on yous. All right, very exciting. Hard luck on the, going lower than what you would have hoped, but yeah, that's life, huh? You just gotta.
Such is the game.
Such is the game. Just gonna move on. On to the next one. We have in fourth place, Faderkin. Who's talking about the Faderkin boys?
That's me. Smiley was not in the team, just for the record.
Yeah, Smiley was with the
Tigers.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What have you got to say, Mumin?
Well, firstly, this is one of the first tournaments we play with 5 players, and playing with 5 is just so much better. Like,
That's
even
nice,
though,
huh?
I mean, Smiley is probably one of the best players in Faderkin, but so it has nothing to do with that. It's just the notion that you don't have to sit anyone. It's really good.
It's nice.
Yeah, it was interesting actually because with Smiley we do play a certain type of laser tag because he's so strong when he gets to play his game. So we adapt a little bit so he can play his game. With him not in the team, we had to play really different. In some cases, it was actually pretty good because the build-up could be different for every game, so we could be more versatile. But we missed Smiley's field points. Like, if we would have that, we would probably be in the finals. So, double-edged sword. I think we did a lot of things good. Read the game, we changed the game a little bit to how we usually play. And at the end of the day, I don't think we played bad laser tag. We beat all teams at some point. Got beaten by a lot of teams as well, of course. And we were second, we were first leading into the system D, and you were second.
Yeah.
Hekki, I think.
Yeah.
So we had like every opportunity to go, but that was on me. Like I spent too much thinking, too little time actually packing. Me and Hekki, we tried to outwit each other, ending up being 4th and 5th. Yeah.
Nice.
Fuck me, man.
We fucked up pretty well. Yeah.
Nice work, guys. Nice work.
But yeah, at the end of the day, we played really well. And I think the thing that hurt us a lot was that, I mean, Bambi was in the organization, Mumin, that was me, is in the organization. Like
That's you. That's right.
There we go. I was just reading out loud. Slanesh, I mean, he's the site manager. Super works at the site. So the only guy was Felix. He was not. No, he was actually in the organization because he wanted to learn how to learn the ropes. So all of us were actually running the tournament as well as playing the tournaments. We had one team meeting throughout all 3 days. We realized we actually have 20 minutes now. Okay, 20 minutes talk. Let's go. And then we talked for 20 minutes, and that's the only time we talked as a team for the whole tournament. Except for the one. Yeah, it was, and that hurt us a lot because a lot of small things could have been fixed. But it's fine. I mean, we were up there, and we did well. I mean, we were the home team, so with these 5 teams at the top, like if Mega Friends would have won, wouldn't be surprised. Destroyer won, I'm not surprised. Connection lost, would they have won? I'm not surprised either, or Legacy for that matter. Like, it was such a toss-up. And I think if we could just had more time talking, laying strats, and working things out, we could have won it. That goes for Mega Friends as well, of course.
Yeah.
I was wondering, is it what's the landscape in terms of the top 5, let's say, been like in Europe for the last few years? Because obviously you're saying just then, like, you could very easily have seen anyone in the top 5 like winning the whole thing. Has that been the case in the past, or is this a more recent thing, like as like the skill level across Europe is kind of evening out a bit?
It used to be 4, I would say. Now it's 5. Because GPV
Yeah,
used to be in the mix, and they're gone now. But we have Mega Friends and Connection lost. Yeah.
I think the overall like competitiveness has got a lot better in the last like 1.5 years or something.
Mm.
Like 2 years ago, I would never think that there would be 4 or 5 teams battling out for the victory in Europe. So I think in that sense, it has got more competitive and better.
That's sick, and I think that just makes it way more exciting, right? Like if you just have the same teams winning every single time, you know, you're seeing the same faces in there. It gets a bit dry. Like we had that in Australia, where we've had in this like Helios Pro era in Australia, like most of the finals has had a lot of the same people, like all Queenslanders. There's been multiple like only Queensland player finals, and it was only more recently that we've started to see that not be the case, which is very refreshing.
It used to be like that here as well. We call it a Helsinki Members Night, the grand final.
Right. Sick. No, that's super exciting. Yeah, that's interesting. No team talks. That's wild. That's really unfortunate.
There was a lot of trouble with the tournament. But we had packs that broke in middle of the tournament. The cable broke for the stream, so the double stream is like, I don't know if there is, but yeah. And we had to work with that, and we got help from Twinkles and from Invalid, and it was rough. It was probably the roughest tournament I ever ran. It was so. I have opinions on things that could have been prepared better.
Yeah. Of course you do, Matt. Of course you do. Yeah, well, I don't know. Has Domi, Hekki, have you got anything you'd like to add about Fadekin?
Well, I guess I was surprised a little bit by how smart you guys played in a way. Like, I don't know if you remember, but in the preview I said that you are pretty predictable in my opinion. And that was still the case here. Like, I could like kind of read what you guys are going to do and what you are doing in the field, but you still played it super smart. And I think that's commendable. It's going to be interesting to see if you guys will reach the finals in like major competitions going forward, especially if Smiley is not going to play with you guys.
Yep. Domi, have you got anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, like I noticed the absence of Smiley. Like when I played you, I was asking like myself, where's that guy that always shoots me in the back? He wasn't there. But I think you guys, I noticed that you played a bit differently. I think you were more like, I don't know how to describe it. Like your defense was more like compact.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, to be honest. Like in the end, it was everyone's game. Like in the golden games, everyone had the chance, I think. And I think on like every other day, I think you guys would have been in the finals. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just want to say for the record that it's not like Smiley left the team. He just didn't like. I didn't play with the Fadekin last tournament. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Cool beans. Well, we'll do the rounds and make our picks for a standout player. Mumin, you can go first.
Jae-Hong.
Jae-Hong?
Yeah. I mean, considering all, like he is, like it doesn't show, but he runs a lot of things with the team, outside of the games and also inside, and he also, in difference from us others, like we are all like all of the Fadekin players have been captains for their own teams at points. Jae-Hong has not, so he's more sticking to what we actually said. It's like that's not what we said when we went in. Like, come on, it's like stop thinking for yourself. Everyone else is expecting you to do this, then maybe you should do that. You know, so, things like that. Like without him, we would not have been fourth.
Oh yeah, well done, Jae-Hong. Domi, who's your pick?
I'm actually going for Super. because like I saw him getting an insane amount of denies in the whole tournament. Like I remember there was one game, like I kid you guys not, he was like getting 7-8 denies or something like that. And
just not fair.
yeah, he like also when I refed him, also like the same. He was just a player was doing the base, and then he just comes from somewhere, and like bam, he tags him, and like you don't even see him. He's so fast, like kind of like Bambi, like with like he's jumping around and like he's super fast and denies everyone. So yeah, my pick is Super.
Do you guys on denials? Do you guys have the So there's the -500 for shooting the base. Do you have the 250 bonus for when you like deny someone? So if someone puts one shot in the base and I shoot them, I get a 250 point bonus. Yeah, cool. Yeah, getting eight shots at denials in a game is insane. Then that's crazy. That's like an extra. I don't know. I'm not going to do the math. My brain's too frazzled to do simple math for now.
Maybe it was actually like 5-6. Maybe I was exaggerating.
No, maybe it was like 11, bro. It was 11, I swear. I saw. I watched that game. Yeah, it was like 11. Yeah. Hekki, who's your pick, mate?
So my pick would have been Super as well, because I think he played a super strong like last line defense, and he has got so much stronger when it comes to dueling and stuff like that. Because I think people looked at him and Felix, Jae-Hong as the like weak links of Fedakin for a while, which was fair because they were clearly behind like the OG guys. But nowadays they really hold their own and are tough opponents in the field. But I'm now gonna use my two shout out rights, and I'm gonna give a shout out to Bambi, because he also got insane amounts of denials in the tournament, but in a different way than Super. So he also gets a shout out for
that. Damn, bro.
That's funny,
it happens to the best of us. Yeah, you miss we say all the time, you miss every shot you don't take. So put those shots into those bases and just send it. I reckon. I am a big believer in that one. Alrighty, have we got any last things we'd like to add about Federkin before we move on? No? Well, yeah, cool beans. Unlucky. Unfortunately, you didn't make it to the finals, but hopefully, the next tournament you're not running and you play together, you'll have more time for team talks and stuff. Maybe have like your Smileys back. And I think it's very commendable for like, there's so much effort that goes into running these laser tag tournaments, especially when things start going wrong. So I think it's commendable for anyone that's able to compete in the top tier and take on the enormous workload of running the tournament as well. So tip my hat to you guys. Very nicely done. Alrighty. We're into our grand finalists now. In third place, we have Connection Lost, and I believe Hekki's taking this one.
Yes, sir.
Two up from predictions. How good. Is this a Finnish team?
Yeah, it is a Finnish team. This was
cool.
their second time playing together as this team.
Cool. Well, take it away, bro.
So, I don't know. It's hard to say like if there was anything surprising about them, because they kind of played the same thing they did at Finnish Nationals, where they also ranked third. But it worked. Like they all have clear dynamics and things to do in the team. December is a good in-game leader. He's a smart guy. He's clearly the weakest back player in the team, but he makes up for it by leading the team and telling them what to do. Then you got Valojägeri, who's just a beast on the offense nowadays. Like I told earlier when we were talking about Mapaches that him and Big Boss were my personal like toughest opponents in the arena. He was actually telling me during the tournament that how I'm a shit duelist or something, and I said I'm only shit against you, bro. Like don't make me say it out loud, but that's the truth.
Damn.
Yeah, but he's a beast. He's a beast. And then you got Tino and Yossu, who are like super disciplined and super like committed defenders, like pain in the ass from an opponent's point of view. Like they really made it a hard time to crack their bases. And Destro, who he didn't play with them at Finnish Nationals, and I guess the big question for me and many other players was like how he will fit into this squad, and he delivered. He was also a beast. Like he kind of was doing everything at some point, like defending, attacking, being the middleman, and I think he was really good at all of those aspects of the game. Their game was basic, but it just worked. It just worked. I don't know what else to really say about them, but they played basic laser attack and it worked. It carried them pretty far.
Sometimes that's all you need, babies.
Exactly.
Fundamentals and
Like
not
like
making
me and
mistakes.
Mumin overthinking everything.
Oh yeah. Yeah, cool. What are some things that like maybe some obviously it's hard to say things that like there's some shortcomings of teams that made it into the finals, but what do you think kept them from being able to be higher, like second or first?
Well, December team denying Tino in the last second of the last game. They would have won the finals if he got the base, but yeah,
Was the team to know?
Yeah, he team denied Tino in the
you
very
didn't
last
see the
second
clip?
of the last game. Yeah, they would have
No,
won
I
the finals if they got the base.
You got to watch that clip.
It's beautiful. It's
Fran's
beautiful.
reaction is priceless.
It's beautiful.
Someone send me the clip.
Yeah. I think it's the most viewed clip of the event at the Twitch channel. So it's a beautiful one.
That is
But yeah,
upsetting.
But for real, like, I don't know. I think they lack pack power a little bit when you compare them against Legacy and Team Destroyer or even Astro Fadakin. So that when the things get like real dogfighty or something like that, that's when they kind of like don't excel as much. But yeah, I think they could have easily won the finals had December not done what he did. But he did what he did, so.
Hold up. Someone sent the link into the chat and they got Nightbot told them no, so I put it in there. Thank you, mate. All right. I'll watch that.
You got the
link? Yeah, I got sent the clip.
Can you run it?
I can run it.
Let's run it back.
All right.
Slow motion, please. December, I hope you're watching, my friend.
All right. Let me share my screen again. Team deny into third. Oh. So the finals was close then, huh?
It was super close.
That's crazy. All right. Here we are, everyone.
Yeah. Let's go. So middle camera.
The middle camera.
Yeah,
should I put it in slow-mo? Hold up.
Let's go slow-mo.
Let's go slow-mo. Okay. Middle camera, slow-mo. We'll go 0.5 speed. That's reasonable. All right, here we go.
Oh, Tino is on the chat saying, please no.
Oh, no. Red. Oh, that sucks.
Oh, I love the way he walks out of the arena after that as well. look at him.
Oh, he's so defeated. Oh my god. Let's watch it again.
Oh yeah, let's. This is the rest of the broadcast, boys.
All right. He's in. Oh. Oh no.
It's rough. But I don't think it would not have been enough to be first, right? It would have been second.
Well, I think I'm not sure, but I think Legacy guys and the Connection Lost guys were talking about how they calculated that they would have won if Tino got the base and like team kill negatives and stuff like that. But I'm not 100%. I just know it was super tight, anyways.
Yeah, it was 1,000 between. I think they would have ended up between. I think they would have gotten 109. So then Legacy would have 108, and Connection lost 109, and Destroy 110.
Oh, nice.
I think
so. No harm done, December, my friend.
Well, it's still rough. Was that the last game or was that early?
Yeah, very last game.
Last second of last.
At least it was that. Like if that happened in the end of like the first game, for instance, like that would be that would be pretty tilting, right? That could ruin your next two games. You'd be so scared to shoot bases. You're like, my captain's just gonna come in and just destroy me. Oh no. I think the most I've the most I've ever been team denied was like 6 shots in one game by the same
Ooh.
teammate. Bloody
Palms,
no
bro.
idea.
Palms.
No
That's quite
idea.
well.
Well, like the strat was he should have known it was me in there. I don't know. I always blame him. He just laughs about it. I reckon he did it on purpose. Cheeky little sod. Anyway, moving on. Where were we? Things they didn't do so well. Is that where we were at?
Yeah, we were kind of discussing that.
Yeah,
It
like
falls
you're
into
saying,
the
like
category.
potentially weaker pack skills.
Yeah, kind of. But they are super strong players. But I think comparing them, like when it comes to pack-on-pack stuff, they were the weakest out of the top 5 teams. Like, it feels stupid to say when they beat us and Hekki, but I think that's the truth. But they are smart and they can capitalize on that. And they had a really strong first finals game, and they got a flow going after that. Before the very last second disaster. But
Yeah.
Rough.
It's a very good team.
yeah.
Yeah, Domi, obviously you were against them in the finals. Like, what did you
Yeah.
notice about connection loss, like in the finals specifically?
Yeah, so in the finals, I think they were like the first game, they were up like an insane amount, like 10K or 8K, like to Legacy and us, I think. So they kind of had the lead in the first game. And then like, I don't know what happened in the last game, to be honest, where why they felt so behind.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think like December, Ditum and Distro, like they were like score Bennett's, right? So they played like
Yeah.
for a long time.
They have been playing for like 8 years or something together as a trio.
So the newer guys like Tino Yuzo and Velo Yakere, so they impressed me the most, I feel, because like I'm a fan of Velo Yakere personally.
Yeah.
I think he's super strong. Like also on the pack points, like how he's attacking. And how it's like in the base also. I think he's really strong. But also kind of like you said, Yuzo and Tino, it feels like they're very like disciplined on the defense and like kind of like do what they're being told and do it really well. So I don't know, to be honest, like the finals were so close, like the teams in the finals were so close to each other that it feels like everyone could have won, like, to be honest. Like like you guys said, the one base and a few pack points and they would have been first. So I think there isn't one thing that they have done bad. I think they played really well, actually.
Yeah, cool. Mumin, have you got anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, well, it's such a strong team, but I don't know. It sometimes feels like they are not as how do you say it in English? Schlau, no, like
Smart.
Yeah, not smart like that. They play smart and they can change the game mid game and all that, but they are not as like tricky as like Destroyer or Mega Friends or
Right.
Legacy is not tricky either actually, but they are more like straightforward, so they are more predictable in that sense. But you just can't give them any slack, you know.
Yeah, cool. Have we got anything else we'd like to say about Connection Lost before we do our picks for stand-up players for the team? No, cool. Well, yeah, Hekki, I'll get you to pick yours first, man.
I'm gonna go with Destro. He really impressed me. He showed good spirit and like he's a strong duelist, has always been. He knows how to use his body, like how to position himself in the arena and behind the walls and stuff like that. And he knows when to kick up the tempo and the speed and the explosiveness quite well. He really impressed me this tournament.
Cool. Domi, I'll get you to pick one, but specifically based on the grand finals.
Oh,
based on the grand finals.
Yeah.
December, I guess, for you, right?
Based on the grand finals, I would pick Tino. No, I would pick Tino based on the grand finals because I think he had a really strong first game where he was carrying the defense like a lot, I think. Yeah.
You're not picking
If you would
December
have
for a
said
ticket in
overall,
that
I
team
would.
deny.
What do you mean?
Was it December that got the team deny in the last game?
Yeah, it was December, so it wasn't Tino. Like December on Tino.
Right.
Oh.
Right. Okay. No, fair. You've already burnt your 2, so you get to choose 2 anyway. Mumin, who's
I'll
your
use
pick?
my 2. I'll use my 2.
Oi.
Valojakeri and Destro.
Uh-huh.
I mean, Valojakeri is like, how old is the guy?
He's 18.
And he has been playing for quite some time, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has been playing for like 6 years or something, I guess.
Yeah, because I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because he's one of those faces. Like I've seen you around. Like you weren't that good back in the day.
I think his first tournament was the Rovaniemi tournament where you played with Henka, Dark Omen, 2018. Yeah.
I played with Henke in 2018.
Yeah, Rollo, Rovaniemi. He played with you because I think Gotte dropped out and he played with you, Slanesh and Bambi.
Yeah. And then, and Destro, I mean, Destro is, when we speaking about brick wall, Destro is one of the worst brick wall to play against. I hate when he brick walls me when I'm defending.
What about him specifically? What's he doing?
He's just smart. He's a big guy. Like he's the size of I don't know who to compare with, but he's not like he's not like a weasel or anything. He's not like a Butza or anything. Like he's quite a big guy, but he is.
You just call Butza a weasel. That's so good. That's sick. Nice.
That's beautiful.
But he
tell him
is
right now.
like he's rough to like when he duels. Like he's not moving a lot, but he still wins those stupid duels, and he reads the defense so well. So if he gets you, he will get the other defender. Like if you take one misstep and then you lose the game. So, he's one of the he's such a really smart player and a great guy.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Have we got anything else we'd like to say about connection loss before we move on? No, cool beans. Alrighty. On to our second place team. We've got Legacy down 1 from predictions, and I believe Domi, you're taking this one, right?
Yes. I mean, so everyone was kind of like watching them if they would get a triple or not. In the end, it didn't work out. I think it was like 1,900 points or something, like almost 2K. And like in the tournament, I didn't feel like they were like that dominant. But I also like they had their bad games and their good games. I think in the round robin, I don't know how long they didn't play without Tivu because like Franklin was a stand-in. But I remember the first final game. I think we played Legacy and Fadekin, I think. The first golden game. I mean.
First golden game was us, Legacy, and Faye.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
You played the
Yeah.
golden game.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So I mean the game before the golden game. I mean that we played. So that game Legacy crushed us, and I think like even before, one game they played with. I mean it's kind of like sad to say for us, but I think one game they played with 4 guys and they beat us.
Oh damn, so, bro!
Yeah, it hurts to say, but I feel like they're so they know how to play the game and they're like so locked in the game because like our I feel like is structuring the game so well, and also like Mystery Rowan, like a great duo. I feel like these guys are like one of the best duos out there, and if they're coming like for your base, like you have to really watch out. Like we always we were telling ourselves after the game, like how do these guys always get our base in like 30 seconds into the game? And so I feel like they played well, but it's also not like they're like in a preview. I think Hekki said like it's not they're super dominant, because they're winning like every final this year. So I think that's like this day we got that edge over them. I feel like, and also like in the finals, like when I watched the finals back, the second game, like they missed 2 blue bases. I don't remember actually. Like I tried to remember in the game if there was trouble outside the blue base because they were playing red in the finals in the second game, and like Tiwu and someone else like didn't get their blue base, although like the blue base was dumped. I think so. Yeah. So in the stream, I don't know who is commenting. I think Runt was, and he also said like, I mean, with those blue bases, those 2 bases, they would have won. So
Yeah, because you said it was it 2,000 in total or 2,000 average that they missed out on?
it was 2,000 in total in the final.
Rough. Even if they got one,
so even like one base, but like I said, I don't remember if there was like trouble outside of the blue base.
Yeah, like they were getting held
I think
out.
you couldn't see it on the camera.
It's a rough gig. Again, it's the game we play, right? It's like the 1 second, 1 millisecond plays, that one wrong decision, forgetting that one base, that'll cost you a nationals, right? So it is what it is, huh? Mumin and Hekki, have you got anything you'd like to add about Legacy?
It's going to be super interesting to see where they go from here, because they kind of went from the highest of highs for them so far to this, and I know they are not happy about it. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in 2024 with them.
Mumin?
And there was some in the finals. There's always a lot of things, small things that could have changed, like an empty blue or whatever. They got a warning that was discussed as well, but like the margins were so slim, like they could have done, like I don't know, they did some dumps and stuff, and it's I don't know, they I don't know, like they do weird things in grand finals.
Yeah.
I don't agree with, like, maybe it was the right call, I wouldn't know, like I wasn't even qualified to be in the finals, but it felt like they were so much stronger pack on pack than the others, just giving up all of that control to go in a dump. Like it feels weird decisions. I'm not sure.
So I know that in one of the finals game, I'm not sure it's the second or the third one, they did the paint train or the saw as they call it, and I know one of their players forgot to take both bases, which were really takeable. He thought he has them but didn't take them, and I know that's a big big thing that's been haunting them ever since after the tournament. Yeah.
You see. Don't lose control.
That hurts. That sucks, man.
The games were like, in everyone's, like, for all these weird things that happened, the games were very intense, and the skill was quite high. There was no you could never relax at any point. There was always, as soon as there was space, somebody took it. It was, so it's easy to forget things. Like I lost Finnish nuts because of that as well. So I should
all right, well, who are our picks for stand-up players? And once again, Domi, you have to do it specifically based on the finals, the grand finals.
Can you guys hear me still?
Yeah, we can hear you, bro.
Okay, so based on the finals, I would say R probably, because he was controlling the game so well, and he also had a great third game in the finals. But in the end, it didn't matter. But I think he gave them the best chance they had in the finals. So yeah.
Yeah, cool. Shout out to R. Hekki, who's your pick?
So I'm gonna be bored, pick R as well, but the truth is that the team will be nothing without him. Like they would not play these kind of finals if he wasn't there to hold the team together. So he's the obvious pick. There's no one else, in my opinion.
Cool beans. Mumin, are you doubling up, tripling up on the R pick, or are you picking someone else?
I was gonna pick R, but I always get to stay last. So
you pick whoever you want, bro.
I'll pick I'll pick Rowan actually. He's a really strong player. He was struggling a little bit in the grand final. I think at least one of the games, but I think he's a really solid player, and he's also a great guy. Like there was this warning. There was discussions afterwards, but he actually came and went and talked to the ref and said like, well, things like this happen. It's not on you. Like it was handling so well. Like,
What was that warning for?
I'm not sure.
But doesn't sound like him, to be honest. But
Yeah, but he did, yeah.
You're right.
I think it was like, but that's the referee's reasoning, I guess, or some. I'm not sure. It was really weird.
No, that's cool. Well, have we got anything else we'd like to say about Legacy before we move on?
Yeah, I would just like to say that not everybody is built for the hat trick, you know.
The hat trick.
Not everyone has hacker.
Oh, right.
Fair enough.
Hacker does wear a backwards hat, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Backwards hat.
He does, yeah.
Maybe I should start wearing hats. That's what I'm missing. That's the only thing that I'm missing. And I'll start winning everything. All right. Well, yeah. Well done to Legacy. Still a very good outing, obviously. You know, some unfortunate things in the grand finals, but you know, realistically, like you were saying, Mumin, like every single team is gonna have their this happened, we would have won. And it's like, you know, it's kinda, you know, it is what it is. You could beat yourself up forever going on about those, but just gotta move on to the next tournament, right? Anyway, moving on to our 2023 Swenats champions. We've got Team Destroyer, baby. Up 3 from predictions. David was spot on. Well done, David.
Yeah.
yeah, it paid off him backing his own team. And yeah, Domi, congrats, bro. And tell us all about it.
Thanks. Yeah, so we were like insanely happy about it. I think no one expected, like from our team, no one expected to win the finals. But like shout out to my guys. I think everyone did their job really well in the tournament. And I know we had a rough like in the first cascade we were like second, and then our second cascade went like really rough, and we were like came out 5th. So yeah, and then in the last game I think it was the last game on the second day, like the day before the finals, I mean. So that game we got crushed by Legacy. And then like the final game, something clicked, I feel like, because we were like in a system D, we were like first, and then first goal game, and then finals first again. Like we played like three series and came out 3 times on top, and like something clicked. I feel like David is a super like great addition to our team, because like in 2022, like where Hekki won in our arena, like that tournament we didn't play with David, and like I feel like he adds a lot of brain to our team, brain power.
Nice.
Yeah. So also like in the finals, I think we were like, I think every team had like 20 bases. So in the end, it came down to pack points and denies. So it was also great to see. Like I noticed that a few days ago, but we were like really waiting for that win, because we were like we were very competitive and like try to like, we are glad that it finally happened, you know. Also like last year Germanats were Legacy were like first with like 1k points. I think it was the difference to first second. So yeah, we were like we are really happy, and like we are looking forward to the Germanats next year. Yeah. looking to get that win also.
Make that 2 W's, baby. 2
Yes, sir.
W's. I think it's super commendable. I think a lot of teams have gone through that experience where you start off pretty hot at the tournament. Cascade 1, you're sitting pretty good, and then you get to Cascade 2, and like the tournament is just like, you get beaten down. Drop a bunch of games that you feel like you shouldn't have, or like the things just like aren't working. Dropping a bunch of positions going into last bit of the tournament. And then you were saying like having a game where you get absolutely crushed by like another team, like where it's not even close, to be able to like come back from all of those and like really rally and go on to like that bit where you said like things just kind of clicked. I think it's super, super commendable. And I guess it speaks to the mental strength of your team, I guess, because a lot of other teams would have crumbled under that, like under those losses, you know what I mean? And it just kind of spirals out of control, and then suddenly you dropped even more positions, like going into like that, rather than going from 5th to 1st, you go from 5th to 7th. Super, super commendable that you guys were able to like kind of, stay focused, really rally, and bloody paid off, didn't it? Did you guys have like, what was the feeling like after like the really rough Cascade and like these like this really like dominant win by Legacy over you guys on the finals day? Like, how did you guys build back from that and come back from that? Do you think it was something tangible, or did it kind of just like happen and you guys are like, oh, we'll just keep going then?
Yeah, I feel like we were trying like a bunch of stuff, and I think in Borash the arena play, if you do it well, and if you like do it really well, it works really good. So and that Legacy game we played, I think we tried something different with like 2 set attackers, for example, and it didn't work out at all. So we the next day we were like, okay, let's do it like this. We had it before, and then I think it clicked. Like I think everyone was in the role and did it like every game we played well. I feel like on the final day. Yeah.
Cool. Well,
it wasn't like I think in a preview, Mumin said that like we as Destroyer, we have like every 7th game where we like really lag behind and play really bad. And I think on the final day that didn't happen at all. Like all 9 games we played really well, I feel like.
Sick. Hekki and Mumin, have you got anything you'd like to add about our champions?
No, nothing really, but hats off from me. That was a nice timing, bro. I was waiting for.
I love that.
Hats off for the victory. Hats off for the victory. Like it's super lovely to see. Like you were telling, like your own team wasn't expecting it in the finals, and I can tell you that not probably many of the players in the arena were expecting that as well. Me and Slanes had a talk before the second semifinal set where he went into the finals against us. We were like, TD looks so done, like they look like they're tilted and they look like they don't want to go for the victory. And then you kicked our ass and then you kicked Legacy's ass in the finals. So it was really nice to see.
Mumin?
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, I think that this version of Destroyer is even stronger than last year's. Last year they had Marcus was injured. He's still injured from what I understand. Like he has some permanent injury or?
Yeah, he had some injury in the back, and like some weeks it hurts. I think a bit more, and some weeks it's fine.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
So it's permanent, right?
Yeah. And you were missing one guy in Palme who was really strong last year. So when I saw Palme missing, then I thought like, okay, this is gonna be hard. But you still got it, and I'm impressed. And I feel like it's more like you adapted more. Like we found a way of stealing red from you when you were red attacking green, and going back in time, like that is something that we could have done it like later on, again and again. But this time around, next time we played against you and you were red, there was no gap there anymore. Like you repaired it, so it felt like you were getting better throughout the tournament, much more than other tournaments I've played against.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll make our picks for standout players, and Domi, you get to go first, bro. Based on, and we'll do. Well, since it's your own team, I'll let you do it for the whole tournament. Actually, yeah.
Let me do both, okay?
All right, you can do both.
I'm very quick. Okay, so for the finals, I would say Marcus, because he was like he got all bases in the finals, and half of that was basically solo bases. So hats off to him that on not getting denied and getting all these bases. Based on the whole tournament, I would say David, because like I said before, he was I think he and Reaper are basically like the main brains of our team. And he was like adding a whole another like perspective to our team, because I mean he played also for a very long time with Watch Dogs back then, and it's basically like a whole lot of pages was added to our thread book, kind of like that. So yeah, I would say David for the whole tournament. Also he had like a food poisoning in the finals, and so that didn't go very well, but we managed to put it through. Yeah.
Did he? How many? 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, only 5-man roster, so you couldn't really sit him either. Damn.
Yeah. It was. We were worried the last day because, I mean, because he didn't look very well when you were looking at him, and also like in the finals, sometimes you see on the cameras, it was like you were seeing that he was like kind of like slow and like this, so you were also noticing that he was like sick in the finals.
Well, yeah, good on him for like soldiering through, right? And like, I mean,
yeah,
because you do series for all of your games on the last day, don't you? Or is it just the golden games and the finals?
It's a 3-set series, like every time golden game, like System D, 3 games in a row.
Yeah, right. That's a lot of games to bloody churn through. Yeah. Or with a food poison body. So yeah, kudos to David, bloody soldier. Sick. Mumin, who's your picks? Pick singular one.
Yeah, I only got one. I know. So the thing that was like the biggest change, as I saw it, might not be like the star player, but Jonas. He was much more involved in the game than he usually is. Like Jonas is the last line of Destroyer, and he usually is very, very, very far back, scoring just a few, like 1,000 points sometimes if they're not under attack. But this tournament, it felt like he was more part of the team all across the arena, and he got those extra scores, and it helped. Like last time you missed the finals with 1,000 points. Now you won the finals with 2,000 points. So that's all you need, like the last line to get out there and get some score.
Yeah. So that's a good point, because there's an infamous game in the 2022 German Nats, the first semifinals.
Oh no, don't.
Yeah, he knows what I'm talking about. Where Jonas has literally 0 score. He doesn't shoot anybody because he just stands in the base defending entire game. So I will agree with Mumin about that. He played a good tournament.
Well, he ended the game on 0 score.
Yeah.
What?
That's crazy. Did he finish the game with 0 points?
Yeah, he didn't shoot anybody and nobody shot him. He just stood in the base.
And also, like, to add to that, there was Jonas and also like Jenny, another player.
Yeah.
She had like 200 points.
Yeah,
so it was like 0 points and 200 points.
That's a rough game. That's a rough one.
Well, nobody got their base.
Yeah. Did you? I guess you just didn't get attacked at all, right? Otherwise, the last line would have at least They would have some tags, right?
Yeah,
so did
yeah.
you just
We
not
didn't get
get
a
a
tag,
tag?
right?
I was the only one
They were
kind
like
of
saying
pushing,
it
and I remember I was yelling to my team that don't worry, there's 2 players with 0 score here, and I let Ladyboy get a few stunts on me, so I created like a aura of danger there a little bit, but it was funny. And the improvement from there is kind of crazy to see.
All right. Cool. Has everyone made their picks?
No, I didn't, because I want to
you
guess
didn't.
up. Yeah,
Yeah,
I want to
yeah.
guess up Domi a little bit. Like, I think he was one of the maybe top 5 players in the entire tournament. Maybe even top 3, like super high up. I think, Domi, you played a hell of a tournament. Like from
Thanks.
start to finish. Like you were my pick for the standout player in the preview as well as, and you delivered.
Thanks.
Oh yeah, baby. Well done. Have we got anything else we'd like to say about Team Destroyer before we kind of wrap up the show?
It would be very interesting to see if you win in Nuremberg, home field. Then it's your time to go for the hat trick, right?
Yeah, I mean it's like a new year, right?
Yeah, true.
New year. Well, yeah, sick, awesome, massive congratulations to you guys on your first big win. Here's to many more. Keep training, keep getting better, and I think now that you guys know that you can definitely do it. Like you were saying, none of you expected to win. I was like, well, now you've just gone and done it. So it's like definitely a possibility. But yeah, just keep training, keep grinding. I think the overall skill level of the entire world and like the knowledge is just getting like better and better every year. So when you're on the top, it's like you gotta keep grinding, gotta keep keeping up with the times, otherwise you're gonna get left behind. So yeah, very nicely done to Team Destroyer and to Domi. Boom, stop sharing. Here's our lovely faces. Hello. Have any of you got any last like parting thoughts, like about the tournament itself, about like the year in review of Europe, or like anything at all?
Yeah, I was thinking of saying a few things about the survey we had, because we always do the survey.
Yeah.
Some interesting results. And about the year, I always do a post, so I won't say anything about that. I do make my New Year's post. But we did have the survey out. Like a lot of things, good reviews in general. Packs less quality than last year, but the thing with doubles versus elim is going to be a thing. We don't know how to go about that for the next time around. And also, we added the red boxes outside the bases, like the no stop zones with the activated players. That was actually got massive support. Like there was one player that was not a fan of it. I didn't check which team that was from, but one player didn't like it. All other like 59 or however many we are, they enjoyed like keeping that area clear. We also had because we were talking about reloads, and because we realized that we could actually find 3 reloads and try to run a Swedish Nats with reloads. We asked about that, and everyone was sort of like, no. So that's not gonna happen.
Reloads are so good.
I know, right? I like reloads.
Oh, come on, guys.
So there's a few things. So the red boxes will stay regardless where we play in Sweden. We will have these red boxes because the support was massive. So we'll see what we do for new weird things next year. But we always try to add something, right? I would like to say personally, the commentary and the support we got from Australia and the US was great. Runt and Moldy did a fantastic job last day. Bob stepped up. He had never commentated in his life, but he did like some long hours just to help out. Skipped a few like private things you were supposed to do just to help out with commentary. So we got a lot of support, and Twinkles helped out with the scoreboard, and Invalid helped out with the stream building, like with the network stuff failing, and we got a lot of support, and it was a pretty good product in the end.
Yeah, it's
And we'll
cool.
see.
I feel like the global laser tag community is like bit by bit, competition by competition, like coming a little bit more together and building those bridges, which is super cool. It's super exciting. And I think with so many big international tournaments next year, with like including Worlds, it's gonna be pretty awesome. It's gonna be very cool. Hekki and Domi, have you got any parting thoughts before we kind of wrap up the show?
I would like to say thank you for hosting us, Ryan, once again. Always
No
a
worries,
pleasure.
man. It's my pleasure, mate. It's always a bit of fun, isn't it? Hell yeah.
Yeah, excited to be here also as well with you guys. It's always like interesting to talk about the tournament.
Yeah.
I also like watched every single of those previews and reviews, and I loved it. So
So it's
yeah,
a dream come true.
Oh, yeah, you're part of it.
you could say that maybe.
Welcome to the shit show, baby. Welcome. Actually, there's a question for you in there, Domi, from Benny. Is Team Destroyer going to be at Worlds?
Nope.
No. Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
right.
not.
Yeah. I feel like
you were rooting. Yeah.
I feel like we've touched on it pretty much every single stream I've done with you guys, but like, what is the current status of European teams at Worlds in New Zealand? Because like the Australian stuff is starting to wrap up now. I think we'll be finding out who qualifies relatively soon.
Yeah, I think if there will be a team, it will be a conglomerate. But there's also a rule against crossing, like nations, mixing with top tier players. So I'm unsure actually.
There will be one Finnish team.
There will be.
Yeah,
Is it
one
not
Finnish.
sure?
Yeah, Isa Maksa with a few additions.
Yeah.
Looking like it.
Sure.
So
Yeah, I heard that.
it's at least one addition, maybe two.
So what are the Finnish players?
No, I'm not. Yeah, it's gonna be basically Elkku, Minerva, HR Jones, Erkki, Smigul, Miina, and then maybe Hacker with them.
Yeah.
He's not 100% sure yet.
Yeah, right. Well, that's one more Finnish team than I was expecting. So that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
And it's a pretty solid team as well. Like lots of top players in that.
Sick.
That's good.
Well, yeah. I don't know. Have I got anything to say? Yeah. Thank you very much for joining me, Mumin, Hekki, and Domi. It's always a pleasure. Again, it's really cool. Like, I don't know. The bridges are being built between. I mean, you need a bloody long bridge to get from Australia to anywhere, but they're being built, and it's it's super exciting, and I think it's just one of the necessary steps that need to happen for us to really progress the sport to like the next level. Is like having a strong global network, and this is. Laser Sports Academy, we're doing our little bit to be a part of that building process. So it's an absolute pleasure and an honor. But congratulations to all of yous. Obviously, Hekki, Mumin didn't get the results you wanted, but on to the next one. One last big congratulations to Domi. Super stoked for you guys. Also, shout out to them for having the best laser tag TikTok account as well. Team Destroyer, check them out. Yeah, I don't know. I've got nothing else to say. And if you guys have got nothing else to say, then we'll say goodbye. Goodbye. Peace out.
Okay, guys.
Goodbye.